So in the last video, we have finally completed our entire token search page. In this video, we're going to focus on the pool section. So here I have opened the project. Make sure to do that. Come here and go back to this. Close all these open files. Come here in the page, and here we have to create a page. So we're going to call pool.js. And we have to create a CSS file, and that we're going to do in the style. So let's create the CSS file, pool module.css. That's the CSS file we have, and that looks fine to me. What we can do, let's come back here, and you can see this is the component we have designed in the last video. The search component, the entire component looks fine to me. Let's come here in the pool section, and this is the finished product. So this is I already have designed. So let me show you what we're going to design in this video. So this is our first liquidity component. Actually, we have two components. One, we have the liquidity component, and in the other component, which is a pool component, in that we are checking that whether the user is connected or not. So let me show you what are the we have here. Let's click on this. Okay, click on this. So here we go to display all the token which a user has, and from here you can select and provide the liquidity. So it's also working fine. We have this pop-up module, and it's looking fine. This looks fine, and from here you can easily able to select the tier fee. So 0.5, 0.3 and 1 you can select right from here. You can come here. From here you can provide the minimum and maximum price to your token, and from here you can easily able to do the changes. And this is the second component. Somehow I have attached both the component together, but I'm going to make it separate because we have to check if the user is connected with the application, then we want to display the add liquidity. But if the user is not connected, then we're going to display this pool component with connect wallet. So both the components are displaying, but we're going to fix this. So that's the component we're going to design in this video. So let's come back to the component section, and here we have to create a component. So we're going to call pool add, and we have to create the CSS file and the JSX. So let's create the JSX, and we have to create the CSS file for this module.css. So we have this two files. Close this one, and now we have to create another component which is a pool connect, and we're going to create the JSX file for this pool connect.jsx, and we have to create the CSS file for this as well. So pool connect.module.css. So these are the two files we have. So we are done with this two component. And now let's come back to the index, and here we have to import. So we have to import the component. So pool add, and that's coming from the same directory, pool add. And now we have to import the other component which is a pool connect, and that's coming from the same directory. And we have to export both the components so we can receive in our entire applications. And you can see that this color of these components are red because we haven't written anything in our component. That's why you can see it's red, but when we write it, this color will become blue. So it looks pretty fine. No more problem we have. Let's come here, and now we can start working on our pool page first. So let's come back to the page, and we can start working on the pool page. So first thing we have to do, we have to import a couple of things from React, and we have to import the image. We have to do the internal imports. So we need to import the first image, all the images. Now we have to import the CSS file, and that's coming from the style pool.module.css. And now we have to define the component. So we need these two components, pool add and pool connect, and that's coming from the context index. And now we're going to define the pool. So const pool, and we'll return this. We'll have a div. Inside the div we'll have this two component. So pool add and pool connect, and we have to simply close that one, and we're going to close it, and we have to make it export default pool. And that's the only thing we have to write in this pool page, because all the designing, all the data will flow inside each of these component. We have pool connected and pool add. So things are looking fine to me. That looks pretty good. Now that looks good. What we can do is simply comment this one because we haven't written anything. So let's focus one component at a time so we don't get any error. So let's come here, and we can go into the style folder, and here we have to do the styling. So we're going to provide the styling. So pool, we have to make it width is going to be 50%, and we want margin 5 RAM and auto, so it will be in the middle. We have to make it position relative, and that's the only thing we have to do about the pool. So that's the CSS we have written. Close this one and click on this pool add, And let's write the JSX for the pool add. So we have to import the React, use state, use effect, and that's coming from React. Now we have to import the image, next image. Now we have to do the internal import. We have to first import the images that's coming from the asset folder. Now we have to import the style folder, style, and we have to import the component. So we need the token and token search. These are the two components we're going to use, which we have already built, and that's the component we're going to use, and that's coming from the context index. That looks fine so far, everything's looking good, and these are the external and internal import we have. Now let's start writing on the function. So we'll have this pool add, and let's come here. We have to define a couple of variables. So we'll say open model, set open model, and initially it's going to be this false. We have to define another variable, open token model, and this is also going to be false, because we have to display the token model and the search token model. So for that I'm taking this use state so we can display and hide. So these are the two use state we have. Now we have to take another variable. This will say active, and it will be 1, and this active will use for the pricing. So you see that we are charging fee 3%, 1%. So whichever the user will select, we have to make that one active. So that's why we are taking this one. Now take another variable. We'll say open fee to set open fee. Initial is going to be false. Now we have to take the min price. So here we're going to take a couple of object. So let's take that. It will have the fee, and this will say info. So this is the general information which I have got from the Uniswap, actual Uniswap. So best pair, stable pair, and close this one, and we have to take a number. So it will be 0% sale. Close this one, and we have to take altogether 3. So let's take the other two very quickly, and this will have the fee 3%. We'll have the same information message, best for stable pairs, and we have to take the number. It will be 0 stable. Close this one, and we have to take the last one, and this fee is going to be 1%. You can define, it's totally up to you that what fee you want to charge as a liquidity. So that's the fee we have. Let's define the information, and the last one we have to define number. So 0 select. Close this one. So that looks pretty fine. These are the 3 different type of fee we are providing in our clone, in our, and what you can call, in our Uniswap. Let's close this one and come here, and here we have to define the min price range, because we want that when someone will click on, so when the user will click on the plus, we want to increase the price. When the user will click on the minus, we have to decrease the price. So let's write the function for that, because once we have the function, all we have to do is to attach that function and everything would be ready. So let's write the function. It's gonna be this, and it will say if text is equal to plus. So if the text will get is it plus, then we want to simply do this. What we want to do is we have this set min price. We have to simply add 1 to that. So whatever the price would be, we're going to add 1 whenever someone will click on the plus button. And the same thing we have to do for the minus. So we have to subtract 1. So we'll say min price minus 1. Simple function, simple JavaScript. Close this one. And now we have to write one more function, because this one is going to be for the max price. And that's the exact thing we have to do here. If it's plus, then we want to add 1, and if it's minus, then we want to subtract 1. Minus, then we want to say set max price minus 1. So these are the two functions which is ready. With that, we can easily able to increase and decrease the price. And now we can start working on the JSX part. So we'll take this return. Inside that, we'll have a div. It will have a class called style.poolAdd. Inside that, we'll have another div. It will say .pool add dash box. Inside that, we'll have another div. It will have this pool dash box header. Inside that, we're going to have a div. It will have a class called pool box header dash left. And inside that, we're going to take image. It will have the source arrow left image. Width is going to be 30% and height is going to be 30%. Now we have to come down, and here we're going to close the div. Take another div. It will have a class. We'll say pool add box header middle, and inside that we're going to take a p tag. It will say add liquidity, and we'll come down, and here we're going to take a closing div. And now we have to take a div. It will have a class called style pool at box header right, and in the right hand side we're going to take the p tag. It will say clear all, and we'll take the image and it will have the source. So in that we have to provide the image close, and we have to define the alt, and in the alt we're going to call image. We have to define the, let's say, width is going to be 50 and the height is also going to be 50, so height 50. And now let's attach a on click function, and we already have this state set open model true. So when someone will click on this, we have to display the pop-up model. From there the user can select the slippage. So that's what we have. And now once we have that one, we can simply close this one. So it's working fine. Now let's come here and we're going to close this div. We're going to have this div also, and let's come here. We're going to take a blocks, will say select price range. So we are done with the header section. Now we are working on the price range section. So let's come here. We're gonna take a div. It will have a class called style pool at box price. Inside that we'll have this left section, because we'll have two sections, one left and other one is right. And on the right hand side we'll display the like wallet and the price range selection min max, but on the right hand side, on the left hand side, we're going to display the like full pool fee, the token balance, all those things. So let's take a div. It will have a class, we'll say pool at box price left, and inside that we're going to have a h4, we'll say select pair. Then this is the title we have. Then we'll have a div. It will have a class called style pool at box price left token, and in here we're going to take this div. It will have a class name style pool box price left token input, and here we can call this p, and we have to define the image. It will have the image, select image, will have the ether logo, and we have to provide the alt tags, which is the image. And now we have to provide the width and height. So the width is going to be something 20 and the height is going to be also 20, because we want to make a 1:1 ratio. And this will have no click function, so we have to click close this one, and now close the p tag. So that looks fine to me. Let's take another p tag. Here we can display the token. The token user will select the symbol, so just go with the hardcode value. We'll make it dynamic. So that's the p tag. Let's come here. We take another p tag. It will display this icon, and close the div, and we'll take a div. Inside that we'll have a class, we'll say po add box price left token info, and we'll take a, it will have a on click function, and in that we're going to call this function token model true. Let's come here. We're going to simply take a p tag, and here what we're gonna do is we're gonna provide this image, because we want to display the image, and this will have the image. We'll have to provide the source. This is again ether logo, and here we have that one. Once we have that, we have to display the alt tag, because that's the general convention you have to follow. Otherwise Next.js will give you an error. We have to provide the width is going to be 20 and height is going to be 20 as well. So that looks fine to me. And at the end we have to simply close the image tag, and we have to close the p tag. So we are done with this first one, and now let's take another p tag. It will have the logo, so for the second token. And now we have to simply take another p tag. It will have the symbol, and we have to close this div, close this one. So it looks fine to me. And we'll take the fee section. So we are done with this token section. Now we are working on the different fee section. So let's take a div. It will have a class name. It will say pool add box price left fee. Inside that we're going to take a div. It will have a class called pool box price left fee left, and inside that we're going to take h4. We'll say p tier, and here we're going to render the p tag. percentage will be earned in fee. So that's the message we want to display, and here we're going to simply close the div. And now that's the first section. Now we have to simply render the data. So we are hiding the fee and showing the fee on the click event. So that's the check we are doing. So we'll say open fee. If that's true, then we want to render this component. So we'll say button on click, and we'll say set fee false, and we'll display this hide. We'll close that one. Else we want to display this one. So on will click function, and here we have to call this set open fee to true, and we say show. So this is our dynamic button. That looks fine. That looks fine to me. Close this one. So it's working fine. Let's come here. We're going to take this fee list, because we are displaying 3 different type of fee. So let's write the JSX for that. So we'll have this dynamic block. We'll say open fee. If that's true, then we want to display this component. So we'll say div. It will have a class. We'll say pool add box price left list, and it will have this if fee pair. We have to map over it, and we have to instantly return that. So in that, we're going to take a, let's say, div, and it will have a class because we want to looping it. So it will have a class called, let's say, pool add box price left list item, and we have to simply provide a key because every item would be unique. So I+1. Once we have the item, we have to add on click functions, and in that we have to set the active I+1. So whichever the box fee pair will click, that become the active one, I+1. So that's the active we have. Now we have to simply close this. So inside the div, we're going to take another div. We'll have another div, and here we're going to provide the class name. It will have the add pool box price left list item, and that looks good to me. Close that one. We'll come here. We'll take the left fee because we have the fee already there, and we have to take the, let's say, we want to display the active. If active is equal to I+1, then we want to display the active tick button, tick image, sorry. So in that, say, we have to take the image and we have to provide the tick image. So the image is already provided to you guys, and that we have this image dot tick. We have to assign the, let's say, we have to assign the alt tag image, and we have the image here. We have to provide the width 220, and we have to provide the height, and that's also going to be 20. Else, if it's not active, then we can display nothing, so empty. And that's our dynamic block, which will show that which one is active and which one is not active. So that looks fine to me. So far things are looking good. Let's close the p tag, and let's come here. We're going to take a close this PD. We'll take a small tag here. We'll display the info, and here we're going to display the p. It will have a class called pool add box price left list pair, and here we're going to display the number because we want to add a custom class to this. So let's close this p tag, and that looks fine to me, and close the div, and we can close this dynamic block. So this is going to be our dynamic block. Let's close it. So this is the entire feature we have. That looks fine. Hope whatever we have done, that's making sense to all of you guys. If you still have any confusion, do leave in the comment section and do let me know. So that looks fine to me. Let's come here. We have to display the deposit amount. So we are done with the feature. Now we have to display the 2 component, that how much amount they are depositing for the liquidity. So let's build that component. So that looks fine. Let's come here. We'll take this class. It will have pool add box deposit, and in that we're going to take this h4, we'll say deposit amount. Here we're going to display the div, class name, style, pool add box, deposit box, and that's the box we have. We'll have this input type text, placeholder will have this 0 because currently we are not displaying anything, but we will make it dynamic. It will have a div, it will have a class called style pool box deposit box input, and inside that we're going to take a, let's say we'll take a p, and we can display this un, the coin, and here we can simply close that. And down below we're going to take another p tag. It will have a class called style pool add box deposit box input and item, and in that we're going to display this balance, that what the balance user have exactly. And now we can simply close this p tag. So that's the component we have. Now close this div. So this is the div we have to close, and now we have to close the another div. So that's the input component we have for the one token, and that's the same thing we have to do for the other token. So let's do it very quickly what we have done for the above one. So let me do it very quickly. Let's close this one, and we have to close this one as well. So this is the second component we have. Let's come here, close this one, and come here, we have to close this one. Now we can start working on the right hand section. So whatever we have done so far, whatever JSX we have written, that's for the left hand side. Now we are start working on the right hand side. Let's come here, let's take a div. It will have a class called box price right, and inside that we're going to take this h4, we'll say set price range. Here we're going to display the div. It will have a class called pool add box price right box, pretty huge name, and we'll provide this p class. It will have this pool add box price right box dash para, and in that we're going to display our short message. So currently price this and pair with. So right now we are doing this hard code, but we'll make it dynamic. So that looks fine to us. Let's simply close this one. So that's the first one. Let's come here, we have to take an image. So we have to display the wallet type, wallet image. Let's provide the height is going to be 80 and width is going to be 80 as well. So we have the wallet, and we can simply take h3 and we'll say your position will appear here. So that looks fine, and we have to close this div. That looks good, and here we can take this price range. We'll take a div. It will have a class called pool add box price right range, and in that what we're gonna do, we're gonna take a div. It will have a class called pool add box price right price range box, and in that we're going to take a p tag. It will say min price, and inside the p tag we'll come out of that and we'll take on another p tag, and here we're going to display this. So we'll take a class. It will have the style pool add box price range box. That's what we have here. Now what we can do is, let's come here. It will have on click function, and in that we're going to display this price range. We have to target that, we have to grab that text, and we're going to display this small minus, we'll say min price, and this will become plus. We'll come here, we'll say close this one. So this p will have a on click function. So whenever we click on that, if we click on the minus one, we'll get the minus. If we click on the plus, we'll get the plus, and with the help of that we can easily able to display increase the price or decrease the price. So that looks fine to me. So that's the one we have here. We'll say per width, and we close this div. Let's take another one, max range. We'll have a pool box price rate range box, and the same thing we have to do what we have done above. So let me do it very quickly. Let's have an on click function on this, and the same thing we have to do exactly what we have done here. We're going to pass this e.target.inner text, and we have to get the minus and plus sign. So let me quickly provide that. Minus, we have to provide the max price, and this is going to be plus. This looks fine. Close this one. We have to close this div, sorry, p, and here we're going to display the text, the price. Close this div, and we have to close this div as well. Let's come here. Here we're going to display the button, and it will say that div class pool add box price right button, and that's the button we want to display. So here we're going to display the button component, so we'll say full range button. So this is the one button with the small one, and now we have to display the bigger button. So we'll take this div, it will have a class pool add box price right button amount, right amount, and inside that we're going to have this bigger button, enter an amount, and we have to close it. And that's it. That's the entire JSX we have written. Now simply close the div. We have to close the div, and now we have to simply close the div. So close this one. Now we have to add the dynamic block. So let me add that very quickly. We'll say open model. If that's true, then we want to display this component. We'll display this div, it will have a class token, and inside that we're going to display the component. So we'll have this token component, and then we have to set this prop so we can close that open model from the component section, and that's what we are following exactly, and close this one. So that's the first component we have, and now we have to simply close this. This is the one dynamic component. Now we have to add the other one, open token model. If that's true, then we want to display this component. So we'll say this token, and it will have the this component search token, and it will have the data. Right now we are sending hey, but we'll make pass the real data, and let's set this open token model so we can close it. Close this one, and we have to simply close this as well, and that's it. And now we have to simply make it default export, and that's the entire JSX we have written for this pool ad. If you have missed anything, make sure to rewatch that and try to find out and understand what's going on exactly. So these are the external and internal imports we have. All this import, these are the use state we have taken. These are the pair price pair range. This is the function for min price and max price, and this is the entire JSX part we have written. It's pretty huge. You can see this is the left hand section. So what I can do is, let's close this one. So this is the header section we have, and this is the select price range. Let's close this one, left section, and no, we have closed the entire one. Simply open that one. We have to get into this left one. This is the left one, so simply close this one, and this is the right one we have. So if you want, you can click on this, and these are the dynamic blocks we have. So things are looking good. We have no more error. If we find that we have any error, we can definitely come. So this is how it will look. You can see everything is looking fine. If you click on this, you can see our model is open, so the function is also working. If you click on this, you can close. If you click on this, you can open, and if you click on this, you can close. So that looks fine to me. These are looking good. If you click on this show, you can see our dynamic component is also working, so we can easily able to have the price. You can click and you can select whichever you want, 1%, 3%, 0.5%. So you can hide and you can show. That looks good. So all the functionality is working. So we have done all the hard work, and now we can simply start styling this component. So it looks good. No more error we have. Nothing's wrong. Everything is working fine. So this is the width, and here we can simply open and select. So right now we don't have any function to get this data. That's why we are getting an error. So we'll fix that. So just focus on the designing for the time being. So reload the browser, and things looking good to me. Now what we can do is, let's come back to the code, and now we can start styling this one. So let's come here, and we have to get this, copy the class, and now we can start styling this. So come here, we have to target the pool add box, and we have to assign the background, and we have to assign the border radius, we have to assign the padding 1 rem, and let's target the box header, and we have to assign the display is going to flex, align item center, and we have to assign justify content space between, Target the box header right. We have to display flex, align item center, and we'll have the gap 1 ram. Color this. We'll target the box price. It will have the display is gonna be grid, and we have to display grid template column. Repeat to 1FR. Background is going to be our primary color, and we have to display the padding is 1 ram. Gap is going to 2 ram. Let's come down. Pool box price left to token. Display is going to be grid. Grid template column will have this repeat 1FR, 2FR, 1FR. Gap is going to be 1 ram, and we'll have to close this one. Let's come down. We'll target the pool box price left token info. Display is going to be flex. Align item center. Gap is going to be 1 ram. Background color will have the second primary. We'll have the border radius 0.5 ram. We'll have the color is going to be primary color, and we'll have the padding 0 and 2 ram. We'll have the font width is going to be 700. Let's come down. We have to target the pool box price left fee, and this will have a display flex. We'll have align item center. Align height is going to be 0. Padding 0.5 ram and 1 ram. Justify contains space between. Border 1 pixel solid, our second primary, and margin top is going to be 1 ram. Border radius 0.5 ram. Close that one. Pool at box price left fee p, and we have target the font size going to be 0.8 ram. Pool at box price left fee button, and this will become background color is going to be our second color. Border 0. Padding 0.5 ram and 1 ram. Border radius 0.5 ram. We'll have the cursor pointer. We'll have the font width is 100. Let's come here. We'll target the pool add box price left list, and this will say display grid. It will have the grid template column. We'll have repeat 3 1FR, and we'll gap 1 ram. We'll target the margin top is going to be 1 ram. Let's come down. Add pool box price left list item. Border is going to be 1 pixel solid. We'll have the second primary color, and we'll assign this padding 0.5 ram. Line height is going to be 8. Border radius 0.85 ram, and we'll have a cursor pointer. Close this one. Come here. We'll take this pool add box price left list item info, and that we're going to display flex. We'll say align item center, and justify content space between. We'll have the pool box price left list item info item para, and we'll say background going to be this color. Border radius 0.5 ram. We'll have the padding 0.3 ram, and let's target the box deposit box. Display flex. We'll have the align item center. Justify content space between. We'll have the line height is going to be 0, and we'll have the border 1 pixel solid. We'll have a second primary color. Border radius 0.5 ram. Margin top 1 ram. Let's come down. Target the pool box add deposit box input. This will become width is going to be 50%. Background color is going to be transparent. Outline none. Border none. Color will have the second primary color, and font size is going to be 1.5 ram. We'll have margin left 2 ram. We'll tag close. Then we'll target the add pool add box deposit box input. We'll take this background color is going to be our second primary color. We'll have the padding 0 1 ram. We'll have border radius 0.5 ram. We'll have a cursor first primary color. Font size is going to be 1.2 ram. We'll close that one, and we'll say pool add box deposit box input pay, and we have to take the display is going to be flex. Align item center. Gap is going to be 0.5 ram, and we'll take this pool add box deposit box input p small. We'll take the background color is going to be our primary color. We'll take the color is going to be second primary color, and we have to take this padding 1 ram. We have to take the border radius 0.5 ram. We have to take the font size going to be 0.5 ram. We'll close that and add box deposit box input balance, and we have to add the font size going to be 0.8 ram. Margin top is going to be minus 0.5 ram. The padding is going to be left 1.4 ram, and box price right box, and we have to target that. We'll take the text align center. We'll say line height is going to be 1 ram. Margin top is going to be 1 ram. We'll add the put box price right box para, and that will say font size is going to be 0.8 ram. We'll say margin top, margin bottom 0.5 ram. We'll say pool at box price right range, and this will say display is going to be grid template column repeat to 1fr. We'll say gap is going to be 1 ram, and we'll say pool box price right range box. This will become border radius 0.5 ram. Border 1 pixel solid will have a second color. Text align center. Line height 1. Pool at box price right range box para small. Margin inline is going to be 1 ram, and we'll have a background to be our second primary color. Font size is going to be 1.2 ram. Color is going to be first primary color. Padding is going to be our 0.2 ram and 0.5 ram. Border radius 0.5 ram. Cursor pointer will come down. We'll target the pool at box price right amount. We'll do the same thing for the button, and we'll say margin top is going to be 1 ram. Display is going to be grid. We'll come down. We'll target the box price right button, and this will have the background to be our second primary color. It will have the border radius 0. Border is 0 and outline is going to be none. It will have a padding 0.5 ram, and border radius is going to be 0.5 ram. It will have a cursor pointer, and it will have a font width is going to be 700. Let's close that. Come down. We have to target the price right amount button, and this time we have to provide background color to be our second primary color. We have to provide the 0, outline none. We have to provide the padding 1 ram, border radius 0.5 ram, cursor pointer, and we'll have the font size going to be 1.2 ram, and font width is going to be 500. So that's the button amount, second button. Let's come here. Let's target the token, the dynamic block which we have added. So we'll tag the token. We'll say position is going to be absolute, so we can place wherever we want. Absolute. We'll say top is going to be 0 ram and right is going to be 332 ram. So I have to adjust that. Let's close that, save it. So you can see that's the entire CS, and that's the entire CSS we have written for this component. So everything's looking good. If you have missed anything, you can rewatch, or you can get this code in the complete project. So that looks fine. Save it, and now we can come here, and you can see here, you can see it's looking fine. So that looks perfect. You can see everything's looking good to me. All the component, you can click on this open show, you can select whatever feature you have. That looks fine to me, and you can increase, you can decrease. The functions are also working fine, looking good to me. That's okay. This is the amount. You can click on this and you can select the token whichever you want. Close this one. If you can click on this, here you have the slippage options. That looks fine to me. No more error we have. So this is the price, Uniswap, everything is looking good. So that's okay. That's look fine. So with this, we are done with this. Now what we can do, let's have a look. Let's close this one, and come back to the pool. And right now, this is how it look. Now what I can do, I can simply open this one. So I have closed that. So that's why we have seen empty. Let's uncomment this and let's start working on this pool connect JSX. So come here, click on this, and now we can start working on the JSX. So let's me quickly write it. So we have to import a couple of things from React. So React, we need to import the images, Next.js images, and we have to do the internal import. So we want to import the style CSS file, and I want to import the images as well, and that's coming from the asset folder. So these are the internal import. Now let's define the pool connect functions, and in that we're going to take this, write the entire JSX. So let's take a div. It will have a class style pool connect, and inside that we'll have another div. It will have a class pool connect dash box. Inside that we going to have a div. It will have a class pool connect dash box header. In that we going to take a h2, we'll say pool, and here we're going to take a p tag, we'll say plus new position, and we're going to simply close this div. So this is the header component we have for the pool. And now let's come here. We have to take a div. It will have a class called pool connect dash box middle, and in the middle we want to take a image which will have to provide the source wallet and width. 8080, and that's the image we have here. Now let's take the P, your active v3 liquidity. You can display whatever message you want, but this is what I got in the real one. V3 appear here. So that's the P tag we have. Now simply take a button, we'll take the connect wallet, and we're going to simply close this div. So this is the middle section. Now we have to work on the final section. So let's come here, take a div. It will have a class called style pool connect dash box info. In that we're going to take a div. It will have a class pool connect box info dash left. In the left hand side we're going to have a h5, learn about providing liquidity, and down below we're going to have our P tag. So here we're going to display check out your v3 LP walkthrough and migrate guide. And now we have to simply close this div. Now we have to take the right hand side div. So we'll take another div. It will have a class called pool connect dash box dash info right. Inside that we're going to take again h5, and in that we're going to display top pools. We have a P tag, and in that we're going to display the explore Uniswap analytics, and we're going to simply close that, and we have to simply close that and close this, and that's the entire JSX we have written. Simply close this one as well, and that's it. And now we have to make it default export, and that's the only thing we have to do. It's looking pretty fine, pretty small JSX, so that looks fine. Everything's looking good so far. Save it, and if you come back to the application, you can see this is how the content looks. We have the pool, we have the positions, we have our images and the buttons. Everything's looking good. So what we can do now, let's come back here, and now we can start working on the styling. So let's do it very quickly. So we'll target the pool connect box, and we have to assign the background to be our primary color. We'll have a padding 1 RAM and 2 RAM. We have to assign the border radius to be 1.5 RAM, and we'll come down, we'll target the pool connect box header, and it will have the display is going to be flex. It will have the justify content is going to be a space between, and we'll have the align item to be center. We'll close that, we'll come down, we'll target the pool connect box header h2, and we have to set the font size, so it will have a 2 RAM. We'll close that, we'll come down, we'll target the pool connect box header P, and it will have a background color to be this second primary, and we have to assign a padding to be 0.5 RAM and 1 RAM. Let's target the border radius to be 1.5 RAM, and we'll have the color to be our primary color, and font width is going to be 700. We'll have the cursor pointer, and let's target the pool connect dash box middle, and in that what we're going to do is we'll say text align to be center, and let's close that one. Come down, we have to target the connect box middle button, and this will be the, let's say, background color to be this second primary color. We'll have the color to be our primary color, and we'll have a border 0. We'll have a font size is going to be 1.5 RAM. We'll have a font width is going to be 50, and we'll have a padding 0.5 RAM and 3 RAM. We'll have the border radius 4 RAM, and we'll have a cursor is going to be a pointer. We'll say margin top is going to be 0.5 RAM, and we have to simply close it. Let's target the pool connect box info, and this will be display is going to be a grid, and grid template column is going to be, let's something like 0.5 1FR and 1FR. That looks good. Gap is going to be 1 RAM, and we'll have the line height is going to be 0. We'll have the margin top is going to be 2 RAM. That looks good. Come down, we'll take this pool connect box info right, and we have to target the left section as well, and in that we're going to say border 1 pixel solid, and we'll have our second primary color. We'll have a padding 0.5 RAM. We'll have a border radius 0.5 RAM, and that's pretty much. So that looks pretty good to me. You can see the entire CSS we have written for this small component, so that looks pretty fine. And I'm going a little faster for the CSS and for the JSX because that's not related to the smart contract, and I don't want to spend much time on explaining on this because these are the self-explanatory things. So that's why I'm going a little faster. So that looks pretty fine to me, and that looks good. No more problem we have here, and that looks good. Simply come here, and you can see this is how it will look. Beautiful. We have the pool, this is the header section we have, and this is the middle section we have with the connect wallet function. You can simply come here, you can see this one is also looking good, this one is also looking good. So close this one, and simply open this. If you open that, you can see these are both the components are displaying together, but we're going to make it dynamic on the base of the account. So let's click on this. Everything is working fine, no more problem we have. You can close, you can increase, you can decrease, and this is the connect wallet and pool functions. So that looks good. And close this one, and come here, close this one, close this, and close this. So with that, we are done with this entire UI part where we have designed both the component. And in the next video, we're going to connect the smart contract. We already have the smart contract, pool smart contract, and that's contract we're going to attach to each of this UI, and we can make some transaction. So with that said, let's move to the next video.